Hello everyone and welcome to our film about Cherokee Indians.
Before we started this project, we did a little research to see if a film like ours was needed.
I have no idea about Cherokee.
I don't know much about them.
Not very much. I know that they're American Indians.
I don't know anything about Cherokee.
As you can see, there's a need for a movie like ours. So we hope you enjoy it and learn something new about Cherokees.
I want to introduce the Cherokee religion by talking a little about numbers. The Cherokee had two sacred numbers. The first one was the number 4, which represented familiar forces and the 4 cardinal points. The second sacred number was 7, the one which they associated with their 7 clans and the 4 primary cardinal points, plus the upper world, the lower world, and the center where they lived. The number 7 also represented the ceremonies they had during the Cherokee year, which included the first new moon of spring, the green corn, the ripe corn, and the friends maid ceremonies, just to mention a few of them. Different kinds of dances were held during these religious ceremonies too, and these were performed by the chief, the counselors, or other members of the society. These celebrations lasted for 3 or 4 days, and they involved a lot of food and rituals with circles of fire, tobacco, animals, and music. Cherokee people also showed a great respect for 2 animals, the cougar and the owl, and for a group of trees which included the cedar, pine, spruce, and laurel, all of which were considered holy because they had leaves all year long. These animals and plants stayed awake during the 7 nights of the creation, and, because of this, they had special qualities and powers that other beings didn't have. The beloved woman, also known as Giwa, was a powerful character in the Cherokee religious traditions. She was chosen in each clan for her bravery in battle or outstanding qualities, and she had responsibility for prisoners and their fate. She also acted as an ambassador and peace negotiator and was the highest honor that a woman can achieve. What can you tell us about the Cherokee ceremonies? For example, the green corn ceremony?
The green corn ceremony was held when the corn was green, normally in midsummer, early to midsummer. It was like their New Year's. It was a day of, they would clean out all the hearths in the town and put out all the fires, of course, and then get their new fire from the center fire of the town and start a new fire. So it was a sort of like our New Year. Everything was settled from old debts, old punishments that needed to be settled was either carried out or forgiven. Divorces were finalized, marriages were finalized, so it was a very intense celebration.
The majority of people think that the Cherokee Indians live in teepees like in the movies. But the truth is they didn't at all. The Cherokee live in villages with houses of river cane and plaster. The roofs were made of thatch. These houses were strong and warm as log cabins. The Cherokee also built largest buildings for ceremonial purposes, and each village usually had a field with benches for spectators. Most of the homes were single level, but the largest families has 2-story houses. The door opened into the cooking area, and there was a hole in the roof to allow smoke to escape. This served as the kitchen, dining room, family meeting room, visitor reception, and entertainment area for the telling of traditional stories. Many Cherokee villages had hard walls around them for protection, but today, Cherokee families live in modern houses or apartment buildings just like you and me.
In this section we are going to talk about some aspects of Cherokee tribes. First, we want to present you some of their ingredients. At the same time, we're going to show you how they used to cook.
Finally, we're gonna tell you about their matriarchal social structure.
When it comes to social structure, Cherokees lived in a distinctive society which was matriarchal. Generally, the Cherokee Indians had an even division of power between men and women. While Cherokee men were in charge of hunting, war, and diplomacy, Cherokee women were in charge of farming, property, and family. However, females are allowed significant social and sexual freedom in ancient Cherokee society. For example, clan kinship followed the mother's side of the family. This meant that the children grew up in the mother's house, and it was the duty of an uncle on the mother's side to teach the boys how to hunt, fish, and perform certain tribal duties. The women also owned the houses and their furnishings. Marriages were carefully negotiated, but if a woman decided to divorce her spouse, she simply placed his belongings outside the house. What woman would like that? In addition, Cherokee girls learned how to be warriors and healers by example. They also learned to weave baskets, tell stories, trade, and dance. They became mothers and wives, and they learned about their heritage. The women were the core of the Cherokee, and though the men helped with some household chores like sewing, they spent most of their time hunting. In the Cherokee society, your clan was your family. Children belonged to the entire clan, and if orphaned, the children were simply taken into a different household. Marriage within the clan was strictly forbidden, on pain of death. Marriages were often short-term, and there was no punishment for divorce or adultery. Cherokee women were free to marry traders, surveyors, and soldiers, as well as their own tribesmen. All in all, we would say that Cherokee women were as tough as the men.
Is the Cherokee society today still matriarchal?
It is. The clan affiliation is not as important as it was in the early traditional times. Even by Louis Chota in the 1820s, some of that significance was being lost, but it still does play a big part in marriages with some clans. You still marry across from one clan to a different clan. Of course, as a Bird clan member, I would marry you, you would be in the Paint clan, or I could marry her, she would be in the Deer clan. I would not marry somebody in my own clan because it would be somebody too close to your family, like a close cousin. Does it play as big a role? In the earlier days, the Cherokee clan determined who controlled the house. As the woman, you and your daughters would control the house. And today it's more like a European American culture of the 20th century, where the man, the oldest son, is usually the more controlling person of the property.
Thank you.
You're welcome.